Yeah. Oh, what up, friends? So today's league launch, and everybody's been messaging me and shooting me DMs, and I appreciate all of you guys. And a lot of people have been asking, what's the plan for Delve? If I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and I just want to delve, do you have an Atlas tree? Do you have a plan? Can you like walk us through what we should or shouldn't be doing, or can you give us just basic ideas of how to proceed or how to get started or how to like get digging into the mines right away? Now, I know a lot of you guys know that I'm working with Mario, and we've been talking back and forth, and he messaged me this morning too, and he was just like, what's the plan? Are we doing Wandering Path? Are we not? How does the Atlas tree look? You know, how many points should we go for? And we had a cool conversation, and I put together some trees and I sent them over to him, and I'm assuming because he hasn't said anything, they're great. So we're going to knock on wood that they're really good. But my plan and how I'm going to do things, I'm going to walk you through. Now, if you've seen my last video about Blight, you know that I have a plan to do Blight and get a bunch of Blight nodes. But there's a world where on League Start now that instead of going into blighted maps, I am going to just buy blighted maps. I have mentioned this before, and I've talked about this extensively. Blighted maps don't work off the Atlas tree, so I can actually get the best of both worlds. If I follow the Atlas I'm going to show you, buy blighted maps, run blighted maps for currency, and then jump in the delve. And if you're going to say to me, well, how are you going to get currency to run those blighted maps, or how are you going to get currency to buy those blighted maps? Well, my plan is to just literally flip all the small stuff that I get, and as soon as I get like 3, 4, 5C, buy a regular tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever becomes available as I'm progressing through my Atlas, buy that, run that, make currency, flip all that, and daisy chain my way up. There is also a world when I hit like 65 that I like hop into heist for a little bit and like do some heist stuff, depending on how fast I get through the Atlas and the story, or through the campaign. You know, it's really going to come down to like in the heat of the moment when I'm playing, what I feel like, what's going on, and just kind of like how fast I'm progressing and cruising. Because I might get to Act 8, 9, 10 and just be like, the heck with it. Let's go heist for an hour and try to find a better axe or better gear or better this or better that. Or I might just be like, the heck with it. We're in Act 10. Let's just blow straight in the maps and get going. You know, because Bone Shot is really strong. You really don't need to go do other stuff. But I mean, like, it's a trade league. We're playing trade. Getting currency is really nice. You know, that's the whole point. We're like rushing for loot. But I do want to delve. That's no secret. I do want to have a game plan, and I want to present to you guys an Atlas tree. I've worked on a couple Atlas trees. I'll show you the Atlas trees on POE Planner. I'll walk you through them, and then I'll show you why these are important in game and in Sulfite generation. A lot of people have been saying like, hey, how do you generate your Sulfite? What's your plan for your Sulfite? How are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? I'm going to try to cover a lot of that. And if you have questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Make sure you come by the Discord and ask, or if you see me live later today, you know, you can ask there, both on the Twitch streams and the YouTube streams. Like, don't hesitate to ask questions. And if you get stuck or you really don't know, either me, myself, or somebody that, you know, oh my God, I just sound like I've got like 14 personalities. That's fine though, I guess, right? But anyways, there's a bunch of like awesome people, and I love this community, man. Like, you guys are great, and there's a ton of people that are willing to like be in voice, jump in the Discord with you, talk to you. Like, don't hesitate. Just, you know, just leave like your 13 other personalities at the door like I tried to. Anyways, let's talk about the Atlas tree and where we're going with it and what's going on. The Atlas tree, you're going to see a lot of similarities between this one and the Blight one. The plan is to go for a Wandering Path as fast as possible, to get Wandering Path and just start progressing through your Atlas. Now, while Blighted maps don't require a ton of Atlas progression, Delve, on the other hand, requires a ton of Atlas progression. The more points that we have associated to the Atlas, the better our Sulfite returns are going to be. So we really want to take advantage of Wandering Path. Now, I've tested in other leagues Wandering Path versus non-Wandering Path, and Wandering Path has always been more Sulfite. Now, you can cut down the amount of Sulfite you take without taking Wandering Path, and that's fine, and that works really well. And you can actually mix and match Delve and Blight if you wanted to, and I'll show you that at the end, and I'll click some points. But honestly, what you can essentially do is you can take this section right here, and you're going to just start at the beginning, and we're going to beeline straight to Wandering Path. That is our plan. That is our be-all, end-all, especially on a day one Atlas. We want to make sure that we have connected monster or connected chance for monsters in each of our map to drop an additional map. So one monster in our map currently has 20% chance to drop in a connected map. This chance, we want to get higher and higher and higher. And you see, by the time we have 39 points, we have 100% chance for that to happen. Having a monster drop a connected map is really important for moving our way up the Atlas tree, as we want to start on tier 1, try to force a tier 2, try to force a tier 3, try to force a tier 4. Now, when we get here, you're going to notice that we get 100% chance for maps to drop. I have been told that taking these higher tier chance drops are bait. I don't know. I've always taken them. I have them off on the tree right now. I hope you're listening. I'll make a little note down below. These nodes right here, I have always felt have been very, very, very good. I have liked them a lot. I like the higher tier chance of dropping maps, and I like making sure that I get to roughly a nice amount of connected map chance to tier up. I've been told that, like I said, that sometimes it's better to do Kirac missions and hope for connected maps to drop at the tier that you want it to be. But I don't know. I personally really like the connected map drop chance. I'll leave these in the comments down below, and you guys can like make a decision yourself on how much of this you'd like to add to your tree. By 51 points, you can have everything. Now in the other Atlas trees here, I don't have these selected, and I'm going to reselect these in because I want to make sure that you guys are aware of the changes and why we picked them and why we didn't pick them, and just kind of like make sure you know what's going on. Now, after we get 100% chance for maps to tier up higher, oh, we don't need this, and we get a couple little bit of duplicate, we get some chance for Kirac missions, we get maps to tier up, we're just going to go in and start putting points into Delve and into other places. Now, this is where things start to get really cool and really interesting. You'll see we still have the same things. We have 100% chance for mobs to drop an additional connected map. We have 22% chance for maps to be duplicated. We have chance for Kirac missions so that we can do Kirac missions. We have 100% chance for monsters to tier up. And now we're starting to get some Delve modes. We have a 48% increase in Sulfite, and we have a 6% chance for Niko. Now, when we clear and we get a mission, we can get it multiple Niko missions. I've seen it pop 2-3 times. And, you know, ideally, we want to use Scarabs. We don't want to use Niko missions, but in a pinch, especially on a day 1, day 2, before you're able to buy Scarabs, and Scarabs are plentiful, having the extra Niko chance isn't a bad thing, as it'll give us, you know, more opportunity to run and get Sulfite, assuming, you know, we get it. If Scarabs become plentiful and you don't need Scarabs and you just have like everything that you need and you're over Niko chance for missions, you can easily click this node here, and we're going to take that off. And you can easily uncheck these 2 nodes, freeing up 1 point to pretty much put wherever you want. But for now, we're just going to leave this here. As soon as we get to our 80-point setup, and we're going to start seeing 79-point setup, we're going to start seeing a lot of really nice things going on. We have pretty much everything we need. And then we're going to go to the really hard part of the Atlas, where we're going to finish off the top hat. Now, I'll show you in game why the top hat is important and why it's not important. But the top hat essentially gives us the opportunity. I realize that I have to like clean up a little bit of this, but don't worry, this will all be nice and neat in the description down below, and you'll have like nice little finished atlases, and you don't have to worry about my silly little mistakes where I forget to click things because I'm silly. But essentially, the top hat is giving us increased effects of modifiers on your non-unique maps. This will help push the Sulfite really up. This gives us more quant on the map, more everything. These nodes are really good. These nodes do make your maps a lot harder, so you don't need to rush them right away. Everything else up until this point is like really nice and really strong. So don't really kill yourself to get the top hat right away, but eventually you're going to want it. Now, I had mentioned that I can do this and give you guys a tree, and we'll build that here, and I'll have that for you guys, where we can add in Blight essentially. So Blight, like I said, is one of those really cool, nifty mechanics that revolves around us having access to our non-wandering path setup. And while you can do non-wandering path, Blight will really excel, like with the notables, but Delve will suffer a little bit. So you have to make that decision of what you guys want more and what you guys don't want. And you have to just kind of like pick and choose for yourself. Like, do I want more Sulfite, or do I want to really take advantage of Blight? If you are going to pair the two, the Sulfite should suffer. Like, that's just the end of it. There is more to do and more benefits to the upsides of these notables on Blight than there is to the side of Sulfite. But the cool thing is now is if you take off the Wandering Path and you add in both mechanics together, you get Packed with Energy. And Packed with Energy is going to give you more max LE resistance. It's going to give you more damage. It's going to give you more movement speed. And this is just something really cool to just add to your maps in general. Like, if you don't like the Wandering Path setup and you're just looking for something while you're delving or getting Sulfite, Packed with Energy really gives you a lot of really like good things. It really makes your maps a lot smoother. It really helps you out with a lot of things. You get also more Sulfite here, and then you can take these nodes up here that'll give you Sulfite completion when you complete a map. So as you're running your maps and you're, you know, doing your Cassia stuff and you click this, you can get these essential nodes. Now, to really take advantage of Blight and to really take advantage of Delve, you need a really complete Atlas. And while that's a little rough for a lot of people early, I fully agree. But if you're looking for points to take out, you could take out some of these map drop tier chance. I really don't recommend taking these out because these have been known to duplicate the maps that come out of the pustules for Blight. But sometimes somewhere it has to suffer a little bit, and you know, we have to pick and choose, especially too if you're at like a couple of watchstones already and you've started like really getting things going. You could start taking out the additional map drop chance nodes. You really don't need them as much because like you already have watchstones, you're doing Blight maps, you're farming a ton of maps, you have a ton of Atlas completion. So there are ways to like really take advantage of like remove points. Now this final tree here, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to post it down in the description down below, as will all these other trees, and pretty much just kind of give you guys that. Now in terms of sulfite generation, I have a bunch of different maps and I kind of wanted to show the difference in maps. Now, as we start tiering up in maps and we start doing different things and missions become available versus sulfite, you'll see right here that we have a 20% chance for more sulfite with a very basic scarab. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like in a map and how much sulfite you should expect to get out of it. Now, when we come in here and we're just going to clear some of the mobs so we don't YOLO accidentally die. And that one guy, Ella giggles that are we dying in our sulfite, in our little sulfite run. We're just going to show you now when I click this, just how much sulfite that we're going to get. Actually, you know what I should do? I should like take note of how much I have first before I do this and then show you guys really quick. So let's do that. Let's go talk to Niko, view our subterranean chart. We have 39,144 sulfite. Okay. I should have grabbed portal scrolls too. So this node gave us not a lot at all. Very, very, very little. Essentially, the amount of sulfite that you're going to get with a rusted scarab is going to be pretty much the same amount of sulfite that you're going to get from a Niko mission. It's going to be very little. You're not really going to get a whole lot of nodes. That gave us like a couple thousand sulfite. That essentially is like the distance of one node, maybe two nodes eventually. Like if I'm going to be looking at, say, depth 300, which is where we're going to be early, you know, we're looking at 763 sulfite here, 764 here, 764. You know, you're talking about like, you're getting like distance to like 4 nodes and then you're back in maps, 5 nodes and you're back in maps, right? So you really want to make sure that you like try to get as much sulfite as you can to minimize the amount of time that we're spending in maps. If we just kick it up to a white tier map and a gilded sulfite scarab, we should see a very big difference. So we're at 40,900 right now. We go into the map, we find our sulfite, we click it. We've gotten, once again, a couple thousand. It's still more, it's not great, but that's because the map is white tier. If we kick up the map again to blue tier with a gilded scarab, and we do it again, you'll see that the tier of the map, see, we got a couple thousand there again, a couple more thousand, a little bit more, it's going up, it's going up. You'll see that we're starting to get a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And as we juice the map and put the map and make the map higher, have more quantity, have more everything, like, you know, you would start juicing your maps, you're going to start to see more and more and more sulfite generation coming out of your maps. Now, this one gave us a couple thousand more, and that's pretty good. And now I'm going to show you the big difference between having a regular map, and then we're going to put the top hat in, and we're going to look at a pretty juicer setup in the ideal way to farm sulfite. So we put all of these points in. We have them all selected. We roll our map. You want to roll the map to the hardest that your character can do it. Ideally, you want to do 8 mod maps. You're not trying to kill anything in these maps. You are just going in for sulfite. You're getting your sulfite and getting out. One of the other cool things too is when I put the gilded sulfite scarab, if I put in these sack fragments, they will give me more sulfite as well. So this map, you know, should give us thousands and thousands. So we're at 48,839. I'm actually going to write this down in a calculator. 48,839. Okay. Then we're going to go grab one node. Wow. So we're at 53,000 and change. So we got roughly 4,000 sulfite from that one node. So pretty much that tells us that if I'm getting 4,000 from that one node and then I just run all around in these maps and I clear out this map, we should get like, yeah, we're gonna fill our bar. We're just gonna cap out on sulfite here. Yep. We essentially cap out on Sulfite. And that's the plan. The plan, at least for me and what I want to do in Delve, is I want to push the Atlas. I want to make currency. I want to be able to do these 8 modded maps or do maps that are pretty difficult, even if they're just like tier 16 rare maps with or without sack fragments, you know, begs to differ on like, you know, what's going to happen and what's going to be. So that's pretty much the plan. Another really cool thing to note, Delve is going to be dropping a lot of corroded fossils. Delve is going to be dropping a lot of minion fossils. These are those bound fossils. I think I have some corroded fossils. Keep this in mind when you're delving today and this weekend. There's a lot of players who are trying to make chaos builds and poison dot builds. Corroded fossils are really good for them. And for minion players, same thing with bound fossils. And there's going to be a lot of unique nodes that are going to be dropping these +1 zombies, +1 skeletons, plus, you know, life reservation efficiency. A lot of these items that we really never paid attention to this league because of the new T-gems and what's going on, they might be really valuable. So when you're delving, just kind of keep an eye out for them, because we don't really know yet what's going to be. Do we want more zombies? Do we want more skeletons? Do we want more specters? Do we want life reservation based on if we're playing that? Is it the Warlock? The Warlock has the one where you like have no mana. So there is a lot of really cool, interesting things, especially like if you get this like life reservation node fractured, like there might be people in this league who are running that and looking into that, and it might be very, very valuable very, very early. So for now, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of Sulfite generation. I wanted to give you guys some Atlas trees and pretty much say good luck on your league start. And, you know, I hope to catch you guys in the stream, on YouTube, in the comment section. But for now, friends, I'm going to get this video out to you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, friends.